Hello, I am Faust4712, and this is my AGDQ2020 submission of Shinobi III KunaiLess. This is a challenge run, and it is another speed run that I have been working on for over a year, and this is my first sub 30. Or, not my first, but, you know, like my third consecutive one. And yeah, so Shinobi 3 the speed run, but with KunaiLess. The objective: not throw a single kunai. It's that simple. No projectiles from your character, Joe Musashi. Only melee attacks. So sword slashes and dagger slashes and dive kicks. You'll see a lot of those coming up. But what's interesting about this is that there's a lot of information that goes with this. Basically, in any percent, there is the clip glitch where you can throw kunai when you're in a certain area and clip through the wall and wrap around the level or zip to the end or whatever. This seems to be a feature that's hard locked into the melee attack, or just the attack feature of the B button. Because when you enter 6-button mode, which initiates A as guard, B as melee attack, C is jump, X is now your ninjutsu, Y is your kunai, and Z I think is jump. But when you do that, it kind of continues that pushback that the kunai does, allowing them to clip through. Except for he doesn't clip through in 6-button. So instead what we do is we do this wall jump slash, which you saw a little brief preview of it there, but you'll see a lot more of it implemented later on in the run. But that was the first round, one and done. It's pretty straightforward, not too much to explain in that one, so I take the time to kind of explain the KunaiLess. And this is the auto-scroller here. It's pretty straightforward too, so this is another good time to start explaining more stuff about it. So, KunaiLess is very interesting because there are certain things that are different now that the 6-button code is enabled that are not applicable in the 3-button mode of this game. For instance, there are 2 soft lock instances that can happen in 6-button mode that were never thought to happen before. And that is when you implement the lightning shield during a transition of a boss scene. So there are some bosses where they have 2 phases, and they'll transition the background to something different to signify, like, okay, this is the beginning of phase 2, was the end of phase 1.
Gypped me.
Well, if you initiate the lightning shield ninjutsu right in the middle of that transition, you'll soft lock Joe Musashi's character to the sprite of the boss, and then you can't do anything. So there's just little finicky, weird things about 6-button mode that we've come to find out over the year, and one of those being that we used to try and do 3 slashes or 3 shots of the kunai to this guy, but when we started doing KunaiLess, the Ripper found out, oh, you could just Mijin, which is the self-destruct ninjutsu. You could just Mijin, and it kills him in one go. So now we're going to be going on to another little auto-scroller section. And that's the reason why this game, I think, is good for marathon settings, because it can easily have enough time for donations to be read, like such as now. But what's interesting about having the sword is that its hitbox is huge. And I don't know why they decided to make it that way. Did.
I will give,
and I take full advantage. what you have to realize is
oh
that
man, it's so awesome.
it's the
but,
same mechanics
for it,
as
the
any
game
percent,
itself,
being
the
that we're
soundtrack
trying to keep the
is
POW
very
as long as possible
atmospheric,
because
and I
that
do enjoy
makes our
it
damage
thoroughly
output
when
times
I
3.
watch you speedrun.
And we're also
Or
trying to
others
not
play
get
it
hit as much as
casually.
often so we don't lose that
It's very
POW.
therapeutic. And
But
calm.
then at the same time, instead of implementing those clips, now we're pretty much trying to figure out how to get through each of these levels as fast as possible without using any kunai. And there are instances in certain levels where you have to use kunai, and you'll see me improvise by using forced deaths with like the Mijin self-destruct attack, or I'll take more body hits which don't do damage but kind of knock you back, and they give Joe Musashi some iframes.
No,
I'll take
if
advantage
anything,
of that
I
a
wish
lot
I
too,
was
so that
like
way I can just keep my POW and have the advantage. And yeah, that's pretty much most of the mechanics and the movement. Movement's just moving and double jumping.
Exactly.
This boss coming up is pretty straightforward and easy if you have POW.
Plus the honey.
If you don't, you just have to hit him 3 times, then do the attack, the self-destruct attack. But for now, since you have the POW, it's just one sword slash and then self-destruct.
With whatever Winnie the Pooh says.
And that's the wall slash jump right there. So 1, and then self-destruct. And that's it for round 2. Now we're on to one of my favorite levels, body weapon. So basically the story of Shinobi 3 is that after you take down the Z Corporation in Revenge of Shinobi, a new group of like their remnants kind of form, and they make Neo Z, and they are trying to do the same thing that they've done before by taking over the world and whatnot. But what you find out is that they've been trying to do some weird experiments too with like toxic waste and all these other things to try and get like mutant clone hybrid ninjas. And what you're seeing right now is the lab where that is all taking place.
Run.
And the boss for this level is actually like the mother. It's actually a she. And they've been taking samples from her and kind of gestating them in these tubes in the background, you see. And you'll see like these little brain things, and then all of a sudden they're like those green goo monster things. And yeah, it's just weird.
Weird Shinobi lore. Wow, that was crap. That was utter crap. What's up, Sonic Man?
Alright, so in this section we try and run and double jump a lot because the ground sinks and it slows your movement down a lot, and it's not what we want. And we try and get around these pincer guys, but sometimes they're buttholes.
Son of a...
Alright, and this is how you take out this chick. Just do 1 Mijin. And then do another. And that's it for round 3 body weapon.
We're losing some slight secondage.
Alright, so this auto-scroller section I'm actually going to take a minute to talk about stuff because it's one of the most difficult auto-scroller sections because of the fact that
my ears.
These enemies' patterns are very weird if you don't do some certain things, and there's a certain point where you don't get any more POWs. So you need to pay attention because there's a section where they'll dump the guys right at the end of a jump, and they'll just drop grenades on you, and then you lose your POW, and it's right before the mini boss. And the reason why that's a problem is because the mini boss in this level takes 33 hits. So he only takes 11 hits if you have POW, which is very easy to get off. It's very fast and quick. But if you don't have POW, then you gotta hit him 33 times. That's a long time. So thankfully you'll see me succeed.
Alright, let's hope that these guys aren't buttholes. Be nice. Be
And
nice.
it's right here. I try and like mime them in like by doing the dash. See?
Alright, they were nice enough.
He was gonna drop that right
Do a
on
little
me,
finessing.
but I kind of knew it was coming. This guy. Now we're gonna take 11 hits on this guy. Hopefully killed off screen. And yay, off-screen kill.
That music track barely got in.
One of my favorite music tracks. So this is when we actually start getting to show off a lot of the dive kick movements and double jumping and the overall speed of Joe Musashi. So here's some more wall jump slashes. Oh, got kind of caught up in there, but oh well. See, that was a forced body hit instead of taking damage or trying to kill him. Just kind of phase through him with
That
my
was all
iframes.
funky, but
Just
whatever,
keep
we'll
going.
take it. Echo!
And so with the wall jump slash, we kind of skip a lot of the areas that are requiring you to kind of climb and crawl
That's what I
over
like
and
to
whatnot, like this right here. We can just wall jump slash right up. Boom, boom, boom. Done and over with. So for this boss, what I try and do is get off in between 5 and 8 hits right here and then activate the lightning shield. So that way I reduce the amount of times that the cannon can potentially hit me, because for like the first 2 seconds after you activate the lightning shield, there's an iframe over you which can't take any damage, but you can still damage them. And so with the POW, the gun and shield are both going to take 5 hits each, and then they're going to explode, and then I think he takes about 10 hits or 11 hits, one or the other. I'm just going to spam. There we go. That is destruction. Electric Demon. This level, especially this scene right here, was extremely difficult to route out, and that being because in the any percent route, they just double jump and spray kunai everywhere, because when you double jump and hit kunai, it'll do like this spray shower attack and takes out multiple enemies. Since I can't throw any kunai, I have to improvise by using dive kicks and double jumps and whatnots, and yeah. It took me a long time to get through this like that, but thankfully,
I don't know how we got through that, but
with
we
enough
did.
precision and enough practice and endurance, you can get through it. That's great.
Oh, it's my phone vibrating.
And there's also a little glitch trick that I found in the mini boss for this scene as well, and it's kind of similar to the first glitch that we did in the first stage with the golden samurai boss, where we take advantage of the fact that there's a certain hitbox where they kind of mesh up and you'll hear like clink, 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 and that means that they can't attack you or hit you, or the window to hit you or damage you is very small in comparison. We're gonna see it right now. There it is. Mini boss done. So now we have the inside of the factory where they're making a bunch of Mecha Godzillas or Dragon Zords, whichever your choice. Right here, we're going to use the timer glitch. If there's a bomb with a timer going on, with the 5 seconds in certain areas, you can just phase through some enemies. You don't have to attack them or anything. We thought it was only for the one section in body weapon, but the Ripper found that you can do it in other areas too, such as that. And there's another one that Bacon Omelet found in traps when there's like this box level or area where you got to try and get to a door up top, and there's all these flying ninjas throwing ninja stars at you and whatnot. No. There's a timed bomb in that one where you can take off and not get phased by them. Alright, so here I'm gonna buffer this guy to come in and hit me, so that way I don't take the machine gun damage, because the machine gun will kick you back into that void and then it's just death. And you don't want that. So here's also a point where you have to use kunai to hit this box and bomb to get this to go. Well, since I can, I
they live in it.
All the other people uses, and any percent is clipped through over here, but I can't clip because I can't throw kunai. It's just the way it is. And so now you're going to really see the wall jump slash be implemented a lot, which is something that Caillou, who's another runner of this category, he found when watching a few Taz's and other runs of this game. He found that Dammit had pulled this off just randomly and only did it once, and it was like a fluky thing, and he was like, I wonder if we can use that. So he went back through and found that you can. So ever since, we've been using it. Here's the backup POW just before the Dragon Zord or Mecha Gojira. So what you're going to want to do for that boss is activate the lightning shield, but don't do it right away. This is another one of those moments where you can soft lock.
Yeah, we're like,
wait till he's done kind of screeching, and then hit the lightning shield, and then just kind of crouch and start slashing. And this is pretty much the whole boss fight. He'll try and do some stuff, and if you're quick enough, you'll get it. Yep, see? And done. Now this next level is the most difficult level, just for the fact that sometimes this game will eat your double jump. You'll put it in perfectly like you have always, and it just won't happen. But the good thing about this level is that the enemy patterns are completely the same. It's completely scripted, so you know where they are at all times. You know where they're going to come out. It's just a matter of having the faith, durability, and strength to endure through it.
Fartcore.
By far the most difficult auto-scroller stage I've ever played in my entire life, just because of how nervous you can get when playing it. Like, palms will instantly start getting sweaty.
Fartcore.
Like I said before, these are good times for donations, but this is going to be one of those times during the run where I'm going to be quiet because I'm just going to be staying utterly focused. I don't care if noise is going on in the background, but I will not be talking during this section in any live runs. Anytime I run this game during this section, I kind of just don't talk. I'm just like, nope. Because if I do, I lose concentration, and then I end up dying, and then it's just loss of a lot of time. But essentially what we're on our way up to is this flying hawk guy. I don't know. Falcon hawk dude. But yeah, and the weird thing about him is that you can't just Mission attack him, self-destruct, and do a lot of damage, and then he's done because he is set to go through each phase. He's only set to take a certain amount of damage and then change color and then switch to another phase. There's no way around it. It's just the way the game is scripted. So he's gonna go through this like feather whirlwind phase. We just slash it, and then he'll come out. And we gotta hit him twice. And then he'll kind of fade away and go back to the feather whirlwind, and then yeah, change color the more damage he takes. So even if I was to use a mission, it wouldn't do much. It would just end the phase quicker and then go to the next phase. It wouldn't end the fight at all. Unless it was the last phase. But at that point, since you have a POW, it only takes 2 hits per phase.
Just gonna play it safe.
So we're already on the last phase.
Nice.
And we're gonna take it safe. There you go. Here comes the
clip through
belch.
the rocks.
And here is the other part of traps, where we can just skip over all the enemies. Yay! Courtesy of the Ripper, he found out that you can just jump over and climb over them all, and they just don't know what to do. This is that room that I was talking about earlier with like the bomb, and you can kind of activate it, and then you won't get like phased through. But we just wall jump slash up there and call it a day. Alright, this next part is a little tricky. Ooh, we almost didn't make it, but we did.
We almost didn't make that. That would have been bad.
And another point where we're going to just go, hey, hi guys, what's up? They just don't even care. This part is dangerous because all these pillars can kill you. These like spiked pillars. Instant death. But we made it through. And now we're on to the boss. He is actually the Ninja Master, and he is the final boss from Revenge of Shinobi. To get rid of his phase 1, as soon as he swings hair, do 1 Mijin attack. And then as soon as you come back out, the 1 will fade, and then the daggers will hit the ground. Hit Mijin again. Phase 1 done.
Hands are sweaty. Butthole.
And there's the Ninja Master done.
We lost time.
And now we are on the final level, which consists of
Alright, we're just gonna play it safe.
platforming, crawling, climbing, fighting enemies, 1 auto-scroller, and a lot of platforming. It's pretty straightforward. But this is considered one of the best Sega Genesis games out there. It is like a very refined version of the Shinobi series, a very good send-off for them in the Sega Genesis era. And the fact that it has a mode where you can just do melee attacks only just goes to show that there was a lot more thought put into this game than what people think. You can play in many different ways, and it has a lot of replayability, which is something I think a lot of games lack nowadays.
Get that dinner. Get it.
So here we're going to try and get a despawn.
But you know what I'm gonna?
They're supposed to be around 2 turrets right now, and then it'll slowly increase to 4 turrets, and then there's supposed to be these like little robot guys that come down and try and shoot you. But if you
Well,
stay right in the middle on the rail and kind of do this manipulation for a few
chocolate cheese.
of the sections up, then you can kind of get a despawn of everything for the last
say.
like, sections.
What?
And you'll see it happen.
Yeah,
See?
we got the despawn. Okay.
We got the despawn. Another pretty straightforward part, just kind of run and double jump over all these things. Normally in any percent, most people just kind of double jump and throw kunai and destroy everything because they have POW. But since we don't have that capability, we're going to try our best to avoid everything and jump over it all. That was a body hit, so it didn't count. That was not a body hit. That was an actual hit. So now we're on the last platforming section. It's a bunch of different jumps and conveyor belt things you got to get through, and electric areas that'll zap you if you touch them. So, yeah. Gonna use the wall jump slash a lot, and
Nope.
you just try and go as fast as possible. There is a clip in any percent that you can do, but like we said, you can't throw the kunai and push into it, so. Normally what others do is they get an extra ninjutsu so that way they can use the electric shield right here. I don't. I just say eat the hits because who cares? Eventually you're going to get more health. There's no enemies to face in this area at all. It's just platforming and your own skill. And they would get it right up there because there's a hidden ninjutsu right at the top of that. Like right when that conveyor thing goes right to the point of that triangle, you would have to jump up.
Yo, what's up, Gogzara?
The Gok. Alright, so now we're about to come up upon the final jump up section, and this is where the wall jump slash really gets highlighted and saves a lot of time because the back and forth jumping from this section just takes kind of a minute if you don't really know what's going on. And there's also these electric sighs that come up, so you gotta time it perfectly. But since you can wall jump slash, you don't have to worry about all that. You can just go up here and do that. Yay, and then there's health and a POW right there. Alright, now we're on to Neo Zed. So as soon as this transition is over, you can use the electric shield. So as soon as he does that, you can move into the electric shield. If you do it any time before that, you'll lock right to him. So turn the electric shield on and then run dash attack him, hit him a few times with the sword, and then phase 1 is done. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. He'll do weird random things during this part, but just know that when he's doing that breath attack, it's actually doing damage to you. It's like he's kind of like pushing wind against the velocity of the force. It's just too much left. But eventually you'll get it down, and there it is.
Man.
And that is the end.
Always at the end. Still sub 30, so I'm pretty confident in that time.
So that was Shinobi III KunaiLess. Not a single kunai was thrown during that entire run. And I am extremely proud of it because it was an idea that Cure and I were tossing around in one of his chats one day. He was talking about pacifist runs, and I was talking about not throwing any kunai. He was like, that's an interesting idea. So I ended up routing it out and doing it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I think it is an extremely challenging run. It is also a good way to speedrun this game without learning the clips or glitches, other than a few of the other time ones,
I'm
like with the
going
bomb.
to switch over the game.
A few of the wall slash jump tricks, but other than that, it's a very accessible run.
Really?
It is under a half hour consistently, and I believe it is a good showing for how this game is very dynamic and still can be played to this day. So I thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.